Now, a lot of you guys may not know this, but I actually stream every single day on YouTube now for the past like 2 months or so. And I go live every day at 9 a.m. CST or 9:30 a.m. CST. But I have not touched Twitch since my return at all. And the reason why is because I believe the platform is fucking terrible. And I can't even think of a reason to even stream on there, considering that the shit that I say on YouTube would have got me banned like 8 times already on Twitch, because it's a platform that panders to sex-driven, woke, liberal, retarded OnlyFans sluts. And you really can't say anything about anybody with getting banned, or say anything about anything without getting banned. I got banned when a woman called me a rapist, when I called them a whore, which is ridiculous. Now, I'm cool with getting banned for saying that, but the reality is we both should have been banned, but we didn't. And the reason why, that's because Twitch panders to prostitutes. It's the truth. It's been going downhill ever since, with the 8 million ads that play every second to paid features on this website that are free everywhere else. There's a reason why Twitch has been on the decline for several years now. The only reason why Twitch is still alive until today is because it got lucky that COVID happened, which is crazy to even say out loud. But Twitch is collapsing. Let's talk about it.
Twitch was the 4th largest source of internet traffic in the United States.
Yep.
Behind Netflix, behind Google, behind Apple, but ahead of Facebook, ahead of Hulu, and ahead of Amazon itself. A decade later, that number is 18th, and the company that bought it for nearly $1 billion has started calling it something internally, a phrase that should terrify anyone who's ever built anything inside a corporation: a zombie brand. That's the actual term Amazon employees use, a zombie brand.
That's a brand that you run intentionally at a loss just for tax reasons. And I'll be real, I don't blame them. The moment YouTube fixes their chat experience, Twitch is dead. That's why I see no fucking reason to stream on Twitch at all.
Something that's technically still alive, still running, still burning cash, but for all practical purposes, dead on arrival. Parked next to the Goodreads and Mechanical Turk, in the corporate graveyard of acquisitions that never lived up to the pitch deck. Here are the numbers, and they're brutal. Average viewers on Twitch, down 21% from the peak. Revenue?
And you want to know the horrible thing? The average viewers, they count viewbots. So these numbers are fraudulent numbers, and the numbers are even lower than that. And the reality is, guys, and I mean this on everything, 99% of streamers who are on top are either viewbotting or are being viewbotted to some degree. It is a fraudulent platform full of fraudulent people who do not want anybody speaking out against them. And if they do, they will be slandered and defamed beyond all recognition for calling attention to the very problematic behavior.
Down over $2 billion to an estimated $1.8 billion, and falling. Workforce cut in half. Nearly 1,000 employees laid off in just over a year. The CEO went on record and said, quote, "We aren't profitable."
By the way, still losing $200 million worth of profit when you cut off 50% of your employees is incredibly shocking. That is incredibly shocking. Your numbers should have gone up, and it still went down, cutting off your workforce by 50%, which will also mean all the issues on the platform are going to be progressed and fixed even slower. So not only are you still bleeding money, the way to fix all these issues is still going to slow the fuck down.
Profitable at this point. That's 10 years. 10 years under Amazon, a company that made $68 billion in operating income last year. And Twitch still can't turn a profit. Meanwhile, YouTube Live.
If Twitch were to ever lose Twitch Prime, it's over. There's a reason why every new feature for Twitch that's improving the product is just a better way to gift subs. Yeah, Twitch's newest way to fix their platform was to give users the ability to gift every eligible user a sub to the channel. And by the way, Twitch is literally unwatchable without Twitch Turbo, and everybody knows it.
It now commands over 45% of all live streaming hours watched on the planet. A startup called Kick, backed by a crypto casino billionaire, grew 131% in a single year. And TikTok Live quietly passed Twitch to become the #2 live streaming platform in total hours. Twitch didn't just lose its crown, it lost the plot. This is the story of how the platform that invented modern live streaming, the place that gave us Twitch Plays Pokemon, that launched thousands of careers, that turned playing video games into a billion-dollar industry, managed to drive away its creators, alienate its viewers, and burn through nearly $1 billion of Amazon's money with nothing to show for it.
It used to feel like streaming on Twitch was a requirement, Now it feels like an afterthought. You know, a couple of months ago, well, maybe like a year ago, I told every streamer that they should be streaming on every single platform they can. I'll be real. I think it's totally advisable to just not stream on Twitch. Genuinely, I do. Due to the fact that if you don't stream on Twitch, your numbers will be bigger on actual platforms with search engines that can lead you to be successful on platforms that aren't fucking dying. Straight up. That's why I like streaming on YouTube, because I know this platform is not going anywhere.
And it all starts with a webcam.
I would actually advise people to stream on Kick over streaming on Twitch. Because at least on Kick, one, the platform is growing, and two, you make hella money on Kick.
Strapped to a baseball cap. On March 19th, 2007, a 23-year-old named Justin Kahn strapped a camera to his head and started streaming his life to the internet. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no breaks. Kahn and 3 other Yale students, Emmett Shearer, Michael Seibel, and Kyle Vaught, had driven from New York City to San Francisco the previous October with $50,000 from Y Combinator, and had an idea they figured would probably fail within a year. They called it Justin.tv, and the life casting concept did fail. Nobody wanted to watch Justin Kahn eating cereal at 2 in the morning. But the platform survived, because it turned out people wanted to use it for something nobody expected: video games. Users were broadcasting their gameplay, and other people were watching. Not just a few, thousands, then tens of thousands. The chat was active. The chat was alive. The energy was real. Something was happening here that traditional media couldn't touch. By 2011, the gaming category was so massive that the team spun it off into its own category. They named it after the split-second reactions that defined competitive gaming: Twitch gameplay. Twitch.tv launched on June 6, 2011, with Emmett Shearer as CEO. The growth was absurd. 3.2 million monthly users in 2011, 20 million by 2012,
Insane.
45 million unique viewers by 2013, and by February 2024, Twitch was the 4th largest source of peak internet traffic in the United States, ahead of Facebook.
Dude, I remember sitting on my computer watching Salty Bet for hours, watching AGDQ for a week straight, twice a year. You know, but the platform was falling off so fucking hard.
People saw what was happening and moved first. They reached a preliminary deal to buy Twitch for about $1 billion. But here's where the story gets interesting. Antitrust concerns killed that deal. Google already owned YouTube. Regulators would have looked very hard at one company owning both YouTube and the dominant gaming livestream platform. The two sides couldn't agree on a breakup fee if regulators blocked it. So the deal collapsed, and Amazon swooped in. On August 25th, 2014, Jeff Bezos announced the acquisition, $970 million, all cash. It was the largest acquisition in Amazon's 21-year history. The logic on paper? Twitch gave Amazon the world's largest community of online gamers, a platform for advertising, a vehicle for promoting Amazon's own game titles, and, this part often gets overlooked, a fire hose of user data. Every Twitch user was a potential Amazon Prime customer. Every streamer was a potential product evangelist. And for a while, it looked like genius. In February 2014, something happened on Twitch that had never happened anywhere else on the internet. An anonymous Australian programmer set up a stream of Pokemon Red and connected it to the chat. Viewers could type commands up, down, left, right, A, B, and the game would execute them.
Dude, Twitch Plays Pokemon was a magical experience. You know what was hilarious, though? What's even funnier than that? When Mizkif was offline and he put up a Twitch Plays Pokemon to win him back, and then nobody cared, and he got mass unfollowed and the worst viewership he's ever gotten his entire career, and then they never completed the run, and then he said, but I'll come back anyways. I mean, dude, if Mizkif doesn't understand how much of a joke he is by then, I mean, he's never going to get it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was embarrassing, bro. Like, good Lord. We all remember that shit.
Them from everyone at the same time. It was pure chaos. Over 16 continuous days, more than 1.16 million people participated. 121,000 played simultaneously at peak. They beat the game together through the digital equivalent of 100,000 people trying to drive the same car. Twitch Plays Pokemon won a game award for the best fan creation and became one of the most iconic moments in internet history. It proved something important. Twitch wasn't just a place to watch, it was a place to participate. And that distinction would define everything that came next. By 2016, Amazon launched Twitch Prime, later renamed Prime Gaming, tying Amazon Prime subscriptions directly to Twitch benefits. Free monthly channel subscriptions, exclusive game content, ad-free viewing across the entire site. It was
ad-free viewing in 2016, guys. Can you imagine that? I can.
Financial glue that connected Amazon's retail empire to Twitch's creator economy. By 2017, YouTube's gaming standalone app was struggling so badly it shut down in 2019. Twitch had 15 million daily active users and a near monopoly on game streaming. The competitors were either dying or dead. Microsoft's platform Mixer, which spent an estimated $30 million to sign Ninja and another $10 million for Shroud, shut down in June 2020, less than a year after those signings. The lesson was clear. Buying individual streamers doesn't move audiences. Viewers are loyal to the platform, not the person. And then COVID hit.
Well, That used to be how it was. Not anymore, baby. Not anymore. Streamers are making moves and they are taking audiences out of platforms. That is the goddamn truth.
And everything went vertical. During the second quarter of 2020, Twitch viewership surged over 70%.
Damn.
Average concurrent viewers spiked from 1.26 million to 2.75 million by 2021. Hours watched hit an all-time record of 24.3 billion that year. Twitch's employee count ballooned to around 1,800. Celebrities were streaming, politicians were streaming, everyone was streaming. But here's the thing about sugar highs. They end. And what comes after is the crash. The world reopened. People left their houses and the metrics started sliding. Average concurrent viewers, 2.75 million in 2021. 2.65 million in 2022, 2.4 million in 2032, 2.42 million in 2023, 2.37 million in 2024, and by mid-2025, roughly 2.16 million. That's a 21% drop from the peak. Annual hours watched, 24.3 billion in 2021, 22.7 in 22, 21.4 in 23, 20.8 in 24, and the 2025 projections, about 19 billion, back to pre-pandemic levels, as if COVID never happened. In December 2024, Twitch recorded just 1.58 billion hours of watch time. That was the lowest monthly total in over 4 years. And the revenue picture? Worse. Internal documents reviewed by the Wall Street Journal put 2023 total revenue around $2 billion, $667 million in ads, the rest from subscriptions and digital purchases. By 2024, that number dropped to an estimated $1.8 billion, an 8% decline year over year. Internal projections warn that Twitch could shed another $250 million in revenue by the end of 2025. This subject matter can be hard to digest, but for most Americans, their personal financial situation is the hardest subject to approach and manage, but with the Dollarwise budgeting app, you can finally take control, and since there's a free trial,
oh, thank God there's a fucking ad. Yes. Thank God. Oh, we're back.
Which requires direct sales engagement with budgets starting at tens of thousands. One streamer ran the numbers publicly. He earned $30.58 in ad revenue from an entire month of streaming on Twitch, 100 unskippable ads across 90 hours. Meanwhile, a single 8-hour YouTube stream earned him almost $90, 3 times as much. About 90% of Twitch creator revenue comes from fan funding, subscriptions, donations, bits, not ads.
I want to remind you guys, when I was streaming on all 3 platforms, I was making 12 grand on Kick. On YouTube, I was making 90 grand. And then on Twitch, I was making 6K, all while doing the same thing. And my Twitch numbers were the highest. That is what is staggering. However, it's also skewed because I upload so damn much on YouTube. But Kick, I was getting 1/3 the viewership I was getting on Twitch, and I was getting double the revenue. My numbers are nowhere near that anymore. My numbers are nowhere near that. But man, money was good back in the day.
That means Twitch is fundamentally reliant on its most dedicated fans opening their wallets. And those fans, they're spending less than they used to. For years, Twitch's top partnered streamers had a deal, 70-30. The creator kept 70% of subscription revenue. Twitch kept 30. It was considered fair. The streamers created the content, built the communities, bought their own equipment, moderated their own chats. Twitch provided the servers and the audience. 70-30 felt like a partnership. Then in December 2022, Twitch's president Dan Clancy dropped a bomb. The 70-30 split would be capped at the first $100,000 in subscription revenue. Everything above that, 50-50. For standard partners, it was 50-50 across the board. The backlash was nuclear. Clancy's justification...
Oh, and then you know what else they did? To keep large streamers invested, they would go behind the scenes and secretly offer streamers the 70-30. And they made him sign contracts to not disclose that shit. That's how scummy this company was, man.
That a 70-30 split wasn't viable long-term rang hollow when creators could look across the aisle and see YouTube offering 70-30 to everyone. And a new platform called Kick offering 95-5. Let me say that again. 95% to the creator, 5% to the platform. 22,000 streamers signed a petition demanding better terms. YouTube's gaming head responded publicly. The creator should be getting a disproportionate amount. This shouldn't even be up for debate. Twitch eventually created the Partner Plus program in June 2023, resorting 70-30, but only for streamers who maintained 350 recurring paid subscribers for 3 consecutive months. That's roughly the top 1,000 creators on the platform with 14 million streamers. The other 99.99%, 50-50, take it or leave it. And then came the data breach that changed everything. In October 2021, a hacker exploited a server configuration error and dumped 125 gigabytes of Twitch's internal data onto 4chan. The entire source code, internal security tools, proprietary development kits, plans for an unreleased Steam competitor, codenamed Vapor. One cybersecurity expert compared it to KFC losing its secret recipe. But the most damaging part? 3 years of creator payout reports. Every streamer's earnings from 2019 to 2000.
This was such good content, bro. Streamers finally being exposed who lie to their audiences, who claim that they're poor, saying they're not making shit. Oh my God. You remember Cutie Cinderella just 3 days ago saying that she was poor? I want to remind you that Ludwig has gone on record saying that he's lost $5 million in gambling, saying that he's lost more money in gambling than you all will ever make. That's a direct quote, by the way. And then she's trying to act like, well, no, I don't really have that much money. Shut the fuck up, bitch.
21. Published for the world to see. Critical Role, 9.6 million. XQC, 8.4 million. Summit 1G, 5.8 million. Those numbers sound great. But here's what the leak really exposed. The streaming economy was an incredibly steep pyramid. 72.6% of Twitch streamers made $0. Another 15% earned between $1 and $25 a month. The top 1% captured almost all the revenue. The rest provided free content that kept the platform alive. Twitch couldn't protect the financial privacy of its own creators, and it couldn't explain why the deal kept getting worse for the people who built the place. The creators weren't the only ones getting squeezed. Twitch turned on its viewers too. When Twitch Prime launched, one of its biggest selling points was ad-free viewing across the entire site. Link your Amazon Prime account, never see an ad, simple, popular, effective. In August 2018, Twitch killed that feature. No more ad viewing for Prime members. If you wanted that back, you could pay an extra $89.99 a month for something called Twitch Turbo. Strip a beloved feature from a paid
Not $89.99, $8.99. Want to correct that misspeak.
subscription and sell it back as a separate product. Classic double dip. And the predictable happened. Ad blocker usage exploded, and Twitch responded not by rethinking the strategy, but by going to war with its own audience. They deployed what the community called the purple screen of death, a non-skippable, multi-minute purple screen that interrupted your stream with a lecture about using an ad blocker, demanding that you watch directly on the main site. It didn't just annoy ad block users, it broke legitimate third-party embeds, esports portals, multi-stream sites, even charity streaming platforms, all collateral damage. Then came server-side ad insertion. Twitch's engineers started stitching advertisements directly into the live video feed at the server level, making them technically indistinguishable from the actual stream. You couldn't block them without blocking the stream itself, and the ads weren't gentle pre-rolls. They were mid-roll interruptions that would fire during the stream, during a clutch play, during an emotional moment, doing the exact kind of content that keeps people watching. One viewer summed it up on Reddit. Twitch is the only platform where paying money doesn't guarantee you won't be interrupted.
Hey, that's how it used to be. Now Netflix is doing the same thing. I'm watching fucking WWE Raw, getting a 3-minute ad every 5 minutes. It's miserable, bro. Forced ads on any platform is like the most unfun viewer experience. I'm sorry, dude, if I get an ad, I usually just fucking click off. Straight up. I cannot stand that shit.
The financial creator problems were bad enough, but Twitch kept stepping on the rakes.
I currently have 1 minute of ads playing every hour on my YouTube live streams. That's how much I don't want to insult my Twitch's or my streamers' viewers' experience of watching my stream. I have 1 minute an hour on my live streams.
In 2020, the music...
And now, given I don't make that much off my streams because of that, but it'll keep more viewers, and my chat is, I'm not gonna lie, my chat is incredibly generous. The super chats and gifted subs I get are pretty fucking insane, I'm not gonna lie. And the money I'm making off my videos is more than enough to sustain myself. I'm pretty much just doing streaming for the love of the game, to be honest.
Industry discovered Twitch. And before May of that year, streamers received...
Although this one time I made $1,400 off of one stream on YouTube, that shit was fire.
Fewer than 50 music-related copyright notices per year. Then the major labels started sending thousands per week. The RIAA fired off over 1,800 notices in June 2020 alone, more than the previous 3 years combined. Twitch's response was to mass delete VODs and clips without telling streamers which content was flagged. 5 years later, Twitch still has no comprehensive music licensing solution comparable to YouTube's Content ID. Then the hot tub meta. Streamers, primarily women, found a loophole. Twitch's rules allowed swimwear and contextually appropriate situations. Sit in an inflatable hot tub? Technically compliant. It drew massive viewership and split the community down the middle.
Yeah, I hated that shit. Let's see if softcore porn is still allowable on Twitch. Welcome to Twitch, where being a prostitute is heavily advised. It is just so pathetic, bro. Keep that shit to chatterbait, ban that content on the platform. There's no reason for that shit to be here.
Twitch eventually quarantined the content into a separate pools, hot tubs, and beaches category. About 11 major advertisers pulled their ad spend. The gaming platform had an identity crisis on its hands. And the gambling mess was worse. By August 2022, the slots category had accumulated over 50 million hours watched monthly. Streamers were broadcasting sponsored slot sessions from offshore crypto casinos to audiences that included minors. Then a British streamer named Sliker was exposed for scamming $200,000 to $300,000 from fans and fellow streamers to feed...
I was one of them! Yep, I gave that bitch $10,000. Yep. Because that dude told me that his mother was sick and he couldn't afford to help get her hospital bills, and he wasn't getting a payout, and if I could lend him some money. Insane. What a rat fuck piece of shit.
His gambling addiction. A cancer patient who'd been scammed called into a stream in tears. Pokimane tweeted, like if Twitch should ban gambling, and got 310,000 likes. Twitch banned certain gambling sites within days, but exempted sports betting and poker, a half measure that satisfied almost no one. And then there was Dr. Disrespect. In June 2020, Twitch permanently banned one of its biggest stars midstream with zero explanation. The mystery lasted for 4 years. In 2024, a former Twitch employee revealed the reason. Dr. Disrespect had been caught sending inappropriate messages to a minor through Twitch's private messaging system back in 2017.
So this is what I'm confused about. I get told all the time that Dr. Disrespect is a pedophile and that he had to be investigated by the police. But I've looked into all of the things involving Guy Beam, and he wasn't convicted of any crime whatsoever. So I'm confused. Did Dr. Disrespect do something illegal or did he not? Because according to all research that I can find, everything that's being said, there's no conviction. No, he wasn't found guilty on anything. It was just weird messages. I mean, if he didn't go to jail, I'm assuming there wasn't any evidence. He wasn't convicted, but he admitted it. So is that kind of like what happened with Miskiff, where Miskiff just admitted it? It was inappropriate communication with a minor. He admitted to it, but it broke Twitch TOS. I have not seen him admit to a inappropriate conversation with a minor at all. I've seen him admit that there was a conversation with a minor, but it was not inappropriate and it wasn't leading to anything. That is what I have seen him admit. Let's double check that. He did admit to inappropriately messaging a minor. There were Twitch messages with an individual minor, yes. Lean too much in the direction of being inappropriate. Casual mutual conversations with no real intention behind them, nothing illegal, no pictures shared, no crimes committed, and he never met the person. He's not a predator or a pedophile. That sounds so bad. You know what I mean? Like that really does sound so fucking bad. Jesus. It's such a bummer. Well, what were the messages? I don't trust anyone. Yeah, that's the thing. You know what I mean? I mean, inappropriate could be cursing. That's what I'm saying, you know? But the problem is if you say that statement, inappropriate message with a minor, it does sound so bad. You know? He killed his own career by his inability to shut up. I mean, he's fine. He's still killing it on YouTube. Did he know it was a minor? I don't know, man. That's the whole thing. I don't know, bro. It's just annoying. He used to be one of my favorite streamers, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to watch his shit nonstop. And even still, I find the guy entertaining. But man, the whole mystery that surrounds like what actually happened in those messages, I feel like if those messages were just to be released, it could either greatly, because the other thing is that he sued Twitch and he won over what they said about him because Twitch paid him a settlement. So like, you know, that's why it's still so confusing. I still love him. Oh, I don't care if you watch Dr. Disrespect at all. I'm not gonna lie. I still watch his clips too. I think he's fucking hilarious. Probably an NDA not to talk about it. Because that's the thing. Are the messages NDA'd because Twitch was wrong and didn't want to expose themselves for being wrong? Or is it because the messages make Doc look fucking awful, right? At the end of the day, in my opinion, if you get entertained by a person, watch whoever the fuck you want. That's my opinion.
He admitted the conversations sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate. But here's the part that made people furious. Twitch had quietly settled with him in 2022, paying out his contract, no wrongdoing admitted. If they knew about messages to a minor, why settle quietly instead of reporting to authorities?
Exactly.
Then came the branded content fiasco.
Because like, I understand about quiet settlements when it's person to person. Person-to-person quiet settlements happen all the time. But massive multi-billion-dollar corporations quiet settlements, those are very rare. Which really, I mean, and Doc got paid a lot. So that's why I'm thinking something ain't adding up.
June 2023, Twitch released guidelines restricting how streamers could display sponsorships, limiting ad overlays to 3% of the screen space, banning burned-in logos. They were essentially trying to become the mandatory middleman in every creator sponsorship deal. The biggest names on the platform revolted. Mr. Beast asked, how about instead of handicapping what creators make, you help them make more? Twitch reversed the policy the next day. CEO Clancy personally apologized, we messed up. 2 days later, That's how fast it took for Twitch's own leadership to realize they publish a policy without talking to a single streamer first. And that disconnect between the people running the platform and the people making it worth watching became the defining theme of the decline. Take a moment and get some free, easy money. With a Chime checking account and my link, you can get 300.
Man, this guy got 2 ads in the same video? How in the fuck is he doing this? What type of Jewish sponsor agency this guy got?
Nobody finds you. Over 90% of Twitch streamers average fewer than 6 viewers. One Twitch partner said it plainly: Twitch should only be considered a home base. Your channel will not grow. YouTube solves this by blending content types: shorts, VODs, live streams, under one algorithmic umbrella that actively pushes new creators to relevant audiences. Then there's video quality. Twitch caps streams at 1080p with bit rates around 6,000 kilobits per second. YouTube supports 4K at 60 frames per second with bit rates exceeding 50,000.
Dude, YouTube streaming, like YouTube obliterates. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably watched me on Twitch, right? The YouTube streams are infinitely superior besides just the chatting experience, right? And I think all they have to do is just make a separate hub for streams to where it can be the same URL every single time and then get 7TV on chat. And then I think it obliterates Twitch.
For fast-paced games, the difference is night and day. YouTube also has a live DVR rewind feature. Pause it, scrub back, catch what you missed. Twitch didn't launch their own version until September 2025. And even then, it was desktop only, subscribers only, with a 2-minute buffer. XQC reacted: this is like when Apple comes out with a new 13-megapixel camera, and people have had that for 12 years. Meanwhile, Kick came in swinging. Launched in late 2022 by the co-founders of Stake.com, an online crypto casino, Kick offered the jaw-dropping 95-5 revenue split. They poached some of Twitch's biggest names. XQC signed a non-exclusive deal worth $70 million guaranteed, with incentives pushing it to $100 million over 2 years. The largest individual streaming contract in history. Amaranth signed the next day for a reported $30 to $40 million.
I don't even know why they signed Amaranth. I'll never understand that. I fucking don't get it.
Kick grew 131% year over year by mid-2025, crossing 4.5 billion hours watched. But here's the catch: Kick's economics are deeply tied to stakes gambling revenue. If gambling
Asmund should have taken the bag. Asmund has no desire for money whatsoever, bro. Like, Asmongold lives like a poverty lifestyle while being a multi-millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't need any more money. He's fine.
Regulation tightens, that 95-5 split could evaporate overnight. And the era of massive streaming contracts appears to be ending. Both Twitch and YouTube have said they're done with the bidding wars. Clancy called them unsustainable. Kick's co-founder, Bijan Tourani, said the platform is not chasing big signers anymore. An interesting twist emerged in late 2024. Many streamers who had left started coming back. Dr. Lupo, Tim the Tatman, Ludwig, Syncono, Valkyrie,
Bro just called Saikuno Syncono. That's crazy.
Returned to multi-streaming when their YouTube contract expired. Their viewers preferred Twitch for live content at ratios of 3-1 or 4-1. Valkyrie revealed YouTube told her their priority had shifted to shorts over live streaming. The boomerang effect proved something important. Twitch's community culture is still powerful. People like being there. The chat experience, the emotes, the raids, the parasocial energy, it's real. The community loyalty can only carry a platform so far when the economics, the technology.
The problem with Twitch is that the chat community experience is incredible, but the streamers there are such faggots, bro. It's crazy, bro. Just a bunch of fake-ass motherfuckers. It's insane.
The management keep pushing people away. Twitch's problems aren't limited to the United States. They're global. In December 2023, Twitch announced it was pulling out of South Korea entirely. South Korea, one of the most important esports markets on Earth, the birthplace of competitive StarCraft, home to some of the fastest internet infrastructure anywhere. Twitch said network fees there were 10 times more expensive than in most other countries. South Korean ISPs operate on a sender pays model, charging content providers for the bandwidth they consume. It violates basic net neutrality principles. ISPs double dip, charging both the consumer for their internet connection and the platform for delivering the content. Twitch tried everything. They capped stream quality at 720p. They killed VOD service for Korean creators. They experimented with peer-to-peer delivery. Nothing worked. The platform had been operating at a significant loss in Korea with no pathway forward. Korean streamers migrated to Africa TV and YouTube. In China, Twitch has been blocked since 2018. In Russia, the platform has faced fines and legal conflicts tied to content regulations and sanctions. In Turkey, a money laundering scheme exploited Twitch's bits currency. Stolen credits were used to buy bits and funnel money through streamers. Turkish police detained dozens of people. These aren't isolated incidents. They're symptoms of a fundamental challenge. Live streaming is a high bandwidth, policy-sensitive service. A few bad geographies, high network fees, censorship blocks, sanctions exposure, payment fraud can distort cost and reputation fast. As if the financial, technical, and competitive problems weren't enough, Twitch became a political battleground. The Platform Safety Advisory Council, launched in 2020 to improve moderation, became a firestorm almost overnight.
Thanks, Hassan. You ruined the platform. Woo! Yeah! Let's keep on promoting the guy ruining the platform. Let's go! Huge!
One council member, a trans streamer, and deer enthusiast who had self-identified as a deer on stream sparked massive backlash for suggesting voice chat in competitive games was non-exclusive. She was doxxed. The council's credibility was destroyed before it accomplished anything. It limped along for 4 years before Twitch terminated all 9 members' contracts.
She should have identified as someone who's undoxable. That way she would have been okay.
In 2024, political content created brand safety nightmares. Hassan Piker,
brand safety nightmares, and Hassan Piker being the first image is beautiful.
A leftist political commentator, draw 100.
You can just call him a terrorist supporter. It's a lot easier.
125,000 concurrent viewers during the 2020 presidential debate, rivaling major news networks. But advertisers grew nervous about appearing alongside polarizing commentary regardless of its direction. Twitch's moderation was criticized from both sides. Conservative creators.
Hassan is the reason why revenue made from Twitch has dropped dramatically, bro. Yeah, I don't think advertisers really want to be on a website next to a guy dancing and shucking and jiving to the terrorist national anthem.
And audiences argued that the platform was biased against them, citing bans they considered politically motivated. Several migrated to Kick and...
Conservative creators and audience argued the platform, citing bans they considered politically motivated? Yeah, no shit. Why do you think leftist creators who attack me constantly never got banned, and I get banned nonstop for saying shit 1% as bad as them? This is why the phrase alt-right grifter makes no fucking sense. Being right-wing fucks you hard on these platforms because they do not want you to say the truth.
Rumble. On the other hand,
Twitch is a leftist, politically cucked platform, and everybody knows it.
And leftist streamers like Piker banned.
I got banned for someone. I got banned for calling someone fat. Fat. Yes, that woman was also a DEI, fat, obese Muslim woman in a hijab. What a shocker. I can't believe it.
5 times for political commentary violations, argued they faced disproportionate enforcement. In late 2024, Twitch introduced content classification labels for politics and sensitive issues. It pleased almost nobody. And then there's the broader cultural shift. Aiden Ross, banned from Twitch for homophobic slurs, racial content, and promoting gambling, became the most followed personality on Kick and hosted a 90-minute interview with Donald Trump and Mar-a-Lago that drew 580,000 peak viewers. The Manosphere audience...
Oh my God, he said the word fat. Ban him quick. Jesus, how big of a pussy platform do you have to be?
Found a new home. Twitch kept trying to thread a needle on moderation and kept pricking itself from every direction. Twitch isn't dying. Let's be clear about that. 240 million monthly active users, 25 million daily users, over 50,000 live broadcasters at any given moment, users spending an average of 95 minutes a day on the platform. That's not a dead product, it's a wounded giant. The live streaming market itself is booming. It was valued at roughly $107 billion in 2024 and is projected to reach somewhere between $318 billion and nearly $700 billion by the early 2030s, growing at around 23% per year. The pie is getting bigger. The question is whether Twitch can hold onto its slice. Near term, expect more cost cutting. Expect multi-streaming to become the norm. Creators broadcasting simultaneously to Twitch, YouTube, and Kick, treating Twitch as one window among several. Expect Twitch to keep improving monetization tools, rolling out better mobile experiences, and
improving monetization tools, aka becoming more predatory as the years go on, in order to stop the bleeding of their dying company, just to translate that.
Leaning on AI for moderation and content discovery. GTA 6 could give all streaming platforms a temporary boost. Medium term, YouTube's dominance will likely consolidate. The structural advantages, discoverability, VOD integration, ad monetization, video quality, are nearly impossible for Twitch to replicate. Kick sustainability will be tested if gambling revenue dries up or faces regulatory pressure.
Yeah, on YouTube you can grow, on Twitch you cannot.
And Twitch may quietly pivot towards...
Well, that's not true. The only way that you can't grow on Twitch if you're a self-respecting individual, because the way to grow on Twitch is to be a vulturistic, dick-sucking clout chaser. That is the only way you will grow on viewership on Twitch, and I have no interest in participating in that.
Being what it's already becoming, a niche platform for hardcore gaming communities and interactive entertainment, abandoning the quest for mainstream dominance.
Imagining... Pretending that Twitch is a platform for gaming is insane. Yeah, bro. There are gamers on there. Oh, that's so much gaming. Yeah, dude, true.
Most likely outcome, Twitch survives as a significantly smaller, more focused platform. The gaming-specific community hub within Amazon's ecosystem, living off Prime integration and a loyal core audience. Amazon has too much sunk cost and too much Prime infrastructure to shut it down, but it won't be the dominant live stream
There's no reason to shut Twitch down because they run it as a loss to save on taxes.
platform it once was. That title belongs to YouTube now, and it's not coming back.
True.
Twitch CEO Dan Clancy said something that stuck with me. He says that as technology progresses, quote, the desire for genuine, real-time connections will only grow stronger. And he's right. The desire is real. People want to feel like they're part of something happening right now.
Sure,
that
fair.
instinct isn't going away, but wanting connection and delivering it are two different things. Twitch built the house. It just forgot to maintain the foundation. And now the floor is cracking while the neighbors are building skyscrapers.
Yep.
A platform that pioneered interactive live entertainment, that gave us Twitch Plays Pokemon and built the careers of thousands of creators, is now fighting for relevance in a market it once owned. YouTube didn't steal
Yep. Well, last one-liner.
Twitch's crown. Twitch dropped it.
True. Fuck Twitch. All my homies hate Twitch. Dog shit platform. They don't deserve me.